Welcome to Not the One Show, the show that's sending the news to work on the Bakerloo line extension. I'm Louise Scody and I'll be taking you through the next hour as the team and I take an inquisitive look at the news affecting your London. Well, I don't mind telling you that whilst we were watching that, Chuck Thomas had a decidedly grumpy response. Not convinced by David Cameron.
Well, I don't know how much I can say on this show. I'm not a fan of British politics or British politicians, especially David Cameron, and just because he gives a nice speech today doesn't necessarily mean that I have to trust him or that he'll deliver on any of those things. Is that okay?
That's fine, because it's your opinion, Chuck. And if he was to deliver on this, if the Tories get into power and he was to deliver on ring-fencing money for the NHS, how would you feel about that?
Well, he spent a long time doing things that don't really benefit the NHS. So to suddenly come out now and say he's going to ring-fence it until 2020 and be the wonderful Prime Minister you want him to be, I would say, well, he should have done that over the last 5 years. That's what I'd say.
Too little, too late for you?
Way too little, way too late. But he has no competition. And, you know, I'm not going to vote Labour. I'm definitely not going to vote UKIP. So there's no competition. I'm with Russell Brand on this.
Chuck feeling a little despairing over there. Were you any more inspired by what David Cameron said?
I'm never inspired by David Cameron. I'm inspired by, like...
No, I saw from your Twitter feed today, actually.
Yeah. I'm inspired by, like, how sort of innovative in the ways he can disappoint a nation. Like, I mean, he's really fantastic at that in a way that's superb. But no, not really. As Chuck said, like, I just don't believe him. I just don't. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, unconvinced panel, do you think that the drama of the conference has overshadowed what they're talking about anyway? There were a couple of high-profile defections to UKIP. Do you think, essentially, we're going to be more focused on that than what Cameron's talking about anyway, or not?
People always defect to UKIP, and no, I don't think it actually was full of scandal and controversy. I think it was an incredibly boring event, and I think politics is dull, and it's the most boring it's ever been, and no, I just think it's a non-story, and it's a bunch of promises. That's all it is.
OK, well, let's see if we can get any more enthusiasm with the final question on this from all of you. Who's come out better from party season? Miliband or Cameron?
I don't think either have, because you just have to look at social media to see that you have people that don't care. We just don't care. We're not inspired by either side. And what's really scary about not being inspired by Labour and Conservatives is you have some people who will defect to UKIP, which is even scarier. So it's quite worrying, the whole thing, I think. OK, worried corner over here.
Miliband or Cameron, or are you with Chuck?
I'm with Chuck. It's come out really bad. I mean, the internet has been great. Like, those two have been inspiring sources of lols, and that's been a win all round.
OK, so a win for social media, if not for political engagement.
That's Power Lunch with Boris Johnson at 12:30 tomorrow.
That will definitely be one to watch. Get your questions in overnight. Panel, what question would you like to ask Boris?
Would you rather fight 50 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? That's what I'd like to ask him.
It's a question that takes a lot of thought. Chuck, finally, quick question from you.
I had that same question written down, so I need to think of another one now. I mean, the question we all want to know, who does his hair?
And on that note, let's go to the break. We may never find that out. I think he'll keep
just ask him.
His hair cards might be very close to his chest.
Tomorrow.
He's got a unique hairstyle. Well, we'll see. Maybe lots of people ask him that. That's it for tonight. Thank you to my panel, Amadeus Martin, Coco Khan and Chuck Thomas. Thanks to you for watching. We'll be back at 7 p.m. tomorrow. This was your London Live team today. Have a wonderful evening, whatever you're doing. Goodbye.